All right, everyone, it's the end of the week. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes. Drop us a like and subscribe. All right, we're going to the numbers. All right, we are currently at a block height of 673,330. Current Bitcoin price, 49,080. Chain rewrite day, 610. Total lightning capacity, we got a little bit of a jump here. 1,113.78 BTC Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 8.27%. And the sats per dollar, still above 2K, but just barely, 2,037.
And Phil, if you could stay on the page for a second, Clark Moody added another metric just below markets, right? On the first, yeah, exactly. Just below markets where it says all-time high on the, yeah, right there. Dude, check those out. Check out those awesome metrics. All-time high price, 58,000. Decline. We're only 15% down from all-time high. Oh, where'd it go? Oh.
We added it to the favorites.
We added it to the favorites. Perfect.
Why not? And when, you know what, maybe, yeah, we'll just leave that one.
But yeah, man, it just, dude, it's only been 12 days since an all-time high, and it feels like a lifetime, you know?
Yep. That's Bitcoin time.
That's Bitcoin time, right? But unfortunately, no Satoshi the Bitcoin chicken, because he only clucks when the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, which isn't today, but we suspect our spidey senses are telling us, our Satoshi chicken senses are telling us that may change very soon. That being said, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, so I always like to see these, you know, the basic FUD, you know, responses. So this is a good one here from some random person. Bitcoin is a pyramid scheme. Never spend anything on Bitcoin that you can't afford to lose. Wait till the bubble bursts. Remember the tech crash? After the crash, Bitcoin will be a safer investment if it survives. Oh, gosh. So first of all, there's nobody at the top of any Bitcoin pyramid. Okay? Like, and you know what? The reality is that, you know, the funniest thing I ever heard once, which kind of rings true, right? Bitcoin is a Ponzi for the people. Okay? It's the kind of thing where when we all join in, the network effect is that it grows, and that it grows in value because we all join in. So it's a positive feedback loop. But there's absolutely no top, and it really isn't a pyramid. So these ridiculous people that come up with this, and then of course the guy equates Bitcoin to the tech bubble. You know, it's just, it gets like these narratives get weak and old, and it's just so sad. And of course, the first response, but right below, okay, the first response right below is, I hope most people would think like you so I could buy in at a much more affordable price. So immediately, it's like, thanks. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Bitcoin is for smart people, and you don't get it.
Exactly. I'm just, Phil, I'm honestly just very surprised. I'm very shocked that person doesn't have a blue check mark, you know?
I know.
Because that's definitely type of blue check mark behavior. But yeah, man. Man.
Just a weak fail, you know, but I had to pick it up because I was like, oh, good, old school stupidity. Let's throw this up.
Old schools, and man, those people are gonna have fun staying poor. You know,
absolutely.
It is.
Anyways,
poor guy. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by a Simply Bitcoin meme lord. The first one, it's of course at Bitcoin Meme Hub. Legendary meme account. Definitely go follow him. But anyways, let's start with the meme. When you own Bitcoin, everything else gets cheaper over time. Have a low tide preference. Stack sats and hodl. And take a look at this. Man, this isn't propaganda. This is like legit. Like this is real.
What it is.
This is what it is. Like here, you know, you don't know. Like,
damn.
But dude. Amazing meme, of course, brought to us by a meme legend. Phil, man, that was, I'm going to give that an Ecuadorian banana and a Jamaican watermelon. What about you?
So hold on a second. How do you know that the banana's from Ecuador and the watermelon's from Jamaica?
We spoke.
How do you know that?
I spoke with them before the pod.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Okay. That was a totally amazing meme that is completely culturally relevant to, almost anybody at the very least in the Western world. Wow. Like that thing should definitely hit home. I've never done this before, but here we go. He's getting grapes, an orange, a watermelon, and an old iPod Touch. Getting 4 things.
Great meme. Great meme. Phenomenal meme. Especially, man, just, I don't know what to say. Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right. The news for today, everybody. Check this out. Cryptocurrency purchases, headline of Forbes. Cryptocurrency purchases, of course, we're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin purchases made in USD are not reportable to the IRS. Now, this is kind of BS, Phil, because essentially what they did is they clarified it after the fact. So for the 2020 taxes, one of the first questions that it asked you on the top of the form is, have you made any cryptocurrency purchases this year? Have you done anything with cryptocurrencies? It was like so imposing, and they clarified after the fact, that's what we meant. So it's kind of BS, and I'm not the only one to feel this way. Corey Clipson was the first one to notify everybody about this. So, it is good news because you don't have to report it to the IRS every time you purchase Bitcoin. You only have to report it essentially when you sell, or when you sell it for fiat or something else, right? But even, American HODL was like, wish that had been more clear last year. Now it seems like I have a taxable event I didn't disclose. What a bunch of clowns. And I completely agree. It's too little too late. It's like you clarified it after. So yeah, man, it's kind of BS, but what else do you expect from the government? Phil, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, look, American HODL's right. I mean, they are a bunch of clowns. And I personally never checked that box, only because in my eyes, look, at the end of the day, okay, whether people want to accept it or not, okay, the way that it really works is that they have a number, okay, that you earned, and then you file your tax report. And if you come within the range of that number, then you never get a letter. And if you don't come in the range of that number, then you get an audit. And, the reality is that it really makes no frickin' difference what you do with any of that crypto until you turn it into USD. Once it crosses the gatekeepers, that's when they know about it. So that's when you have to claim it. That is the truth. Because really, in their eyes, okay, as long as it's in this quote-unquote fun land, to them, it's irrelevant. It's when it crosses into the, quote-unquote, the real world, that all of a sudden, it becomes taxable events. So, anyways, I'm glad that they're finally clarifying it. I think that we're going to end up seeing more laws shifting, and I think we're going to see more stuff come out because, as we've said in the past on this show, they're trying to apply antiquated rules to a brand new game.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating, Phil. Like but what else do you expect? It's frustrating, but it's not surprising at all. But yeah, we'll be here to cover it on Simply Bitcoin. But the next bit of news I thought was also very interesting. It is from no other than Arthur Hayes. He came out with the blog post essentially talking about, macro events, the economy, the Fed printing a bazillion, I mean, more than a bazillion. No one knows. Money printer go burr. But anyways, American HODL had a very good screenshot of essentially two important points of the article. I'm just going to quote it. At one extreme, print money to lower rates so that the debt can be repaid with debased money. This supports asset prices, which supports a higher debt load, those with financial asset benefit. At the other extreme, raise rates, which in turn depress asset values, causing debtors to default and forcing them to hand their assets to creditors. These assets fall in value, toward their fundamental ability to generate cash flow. Those earnings, wages benefit as their labor can buy more real and financial assets. And dude, those are essentially the two only options the Fed has to address inflation. They don't have any options. This is crazy. And look, you know what's even crazier? I'm going to blow your mind right now. They're admitting this on mainstream media. They're saying, listen, inflation is probably going to come. And you know what the mainstream media is doing? They're focusing on Bitcoin. But look how crazy this is. Look, the 10-year U.S. Treasury yields climbed back above the 1.5 level on Thursday after Fed Chair Jerome Powell said there was potential for a temporary, this is the word, this is the same word that Nixon used in 1971 when they took us off the gold standard. Essentially, he said literally, this is a temporary move.
Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
Right? Well, same thing. There was a potential for a temporary jump in inflation, and that he had noticed the recent rise in yields. So, man, money printer go burr. Okay? And they're admitting that's basically it. And they're admitting to this inevitable inflation that is coming. Max Kaiser thinks that it's not just a tad of inflation, it's a lot of inflation in the end game of fiat, right? So let's see what happens. But man, at the rate that these guys have printed money, I think it's 25% of the total money supply that is in existence right now has been printed this year or the last 2 years alone. It's some crazy freaking number, right? So, Phil, is this the end? Is this the end for the dollar?
Not only does the emperor wear no clothes, but there is no emperor. Okay? So it's like, we've got this entirely faith-backed money, and the people that hold the keys to this money printing cannot be trusted. How long does the faith last? I mean, don't get me wrong, right? People have faith in the country, right? People have faith in like maybe their neighbors, they've got faith in the future and stuff like that. But like, how do you have faith in this money where the people that print it are actually doing it against your best interest? They're not doing it for your best interest. It's the complete opposite, right? You go to sleep, you wake up the next day, whether you want to accept it or not, whether I want to accept it or not, in fiat terms, we're slightly poorer.
Exactly that.
The fiat is worth that much less. Sure, we don't notice it over a day. Sure, we don't notice it over a month. Some countries do. Some notice it over a day. Some notice it unfortunately, have noticed it over the span of 24 hours.
Man, it's a depressing world in the fiat world, man.
Yes.
It's a depressing world, literally, in the fiat world. and in the Bitcoin world, it's this, this bright future, man. This bright orange future. I think that's Corey's term for it. But yeah, man, we're incredibly happy and lucky to have something like Bitcoin to protect us from all their crazy shenanigans. This other billionaire that said it and I love the coin that he said. He basically said, I think it was the guy that owns the Golden State Warriors, but Shamat or whatever, basically said Bitcoin is the best schmuck insurance, and he's exactly right. That's exactly what it is, and the soundest, strongest money that has ever existed. But that was an awesome segment. Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. Looks like we've got Whirlpool GUI version 0.10.3 that was released, and that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, apologies for any mishap, technical difficulties with the audio and that stuff. We're trying to improve it so that you guys have could see a better version of Simply Bitcoin, so bear with us. Maybe we got it perfect. We don't know. Let us know down in the comments. But anyways, guys, if you like the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. If you love the video, it really helps us. We want to defeat all the shitcoin channels, so it really helps us if you subscribe. And of course, we will see you tomorrow for the weekend edition of Simply Bitcoin.